the day is finally here. We did give you a sneak preview of the new interior of the GT3 a couple of weeks ago, but we thought it was about time to bring in Cameron from Logic, because obviously he's been a massive part of the transformation of this car. And later on, we're going to speak to Mick from a wonderful company called Penso, who we've teamed up with to do the interior.
Absolutely.
The reason we've got Cameron here, help explain how you took standard carbon to blue tinted carbon.
So we took the opportunity while Penso have done a complete interior retrim, so every panel was out that we needed. Penso gave those to us, and you had a gloss lacquered carbon fibre. We've done a liquid treatment to it.
Okay.
So this can actually be returned back to natural carbon state. So there's various ways of doing coloured carbon, but the most effective way on these panels interior were to do a transparent paint. Now, what transparent paint actually means is that it goes over the weave, and as you progress with the colour, it gets darker and darker. So we did it like that, so we had the option of having an actual tint or shade of blue. So there's plans with this car. Obviously we wanted to match the interior of the orange, which we've done like a nice medium to dark blue. We could have overkilled it with more layers, but we've just found the perfect balance. So and then obviously it gets lacquered and finished exactly like normal carbon does.
So the really cool thing about this, just like the exterior paint from Logic, the coloured carbon is also removable.
If this car were to ever, be resold, we could return it back to natural state carbon, and obviously it would complement the interior just as well as the blue does.
The process to tint these, I've never seen such a transformation, obviously, like this.
Absolutely phenomenal, yeah, definitely. It makes such a difference. We have the option of painting them actually in a colour if we wanted to, so any kind of car we do, we can do painted seat backs, which some cars do, but obviously we had the carbon, so we wanted to accentuate that, make it a little bit more special, and just turn it up a level, and we've managed to, tint all the whole seat with the blue to match the rest of the interior.
So Penso stripped it down.
Yeah,
they sent you just the carbon shell.
Again, it works perfectly. Great synergy that when the car's being retrimmed, all the interior kind of seat, padding, everything comes off. So working with Penso in that regard to then just literally paint the seats. We give them the seats back, and then the new interior goes on. So
we custom mixed this. This colour doesn't actually exist. We were in your paint booth going, a little bit more of that, a little bit more of that, samples and swatches. We put a ducktail on it, we've got a JCR exhaust on there, we've got the carbon bonnet from JCR. So these bonnets are on the Spiders and the GT3 RS.
Carbon bonnet.
And then we wanted to give this thing the next level sort of refresh, a facelift when it hit 50,000 miles. And we thought, why don't we go on the journey of the interior? It actually all started off my really gammy steering wheel, because Alcantara after 50,000 miles doesn't look good.
No.
So I was like, Cam, is there anything we can do here? One thing led to the next, and when we move into new Logic, we're going to partner with Penso, who have done the interior fitment on this, and Penso and Logic in-house are going to have an atelier. You're going to be able to come in and do a full spec, like you're re-speccing your car again. So imagine the existing car that you have is going to give you the second chance to effectively respec that car. And why we're really excited about partnering with Penso is that they are the whizzes behind the scenes of the automotive industry, and they do interiors for full OEM grades.
Absolutely.
So they've worked with JLR, McLaren, Lotus, lots of brands. And we're about to speak with Mick, who was the lead on the interior project, to share a bit more info on how it was done, the trials and tribulations, because it's a really extensive job. When Mick says bespoke, there was no templates here, were there?
Not at all.
This was a vision that we developed between your team and ourselves. You can see on that back wall there, that's as close to our sort of final renders as it gets.
The standard comes from the Rolls Royces and the Bentleys of this world.
Right.
And that's what we try to aim for. We've actually trimmed a lot of their products over the years, done the comfort factor, gone through that pain of learning about what their quirky requirements are. And so when you take it onto this vehicle, it's quite easy then.
It
isn't difficult.
Easy. It makes
no, it's not easy.
There was a moment, and I'm sure you can tell by the B-roll you're seeing now, if you were to walk in as a customer as part of this journey and see it halfway through the process, you'd be like, hold on a minute, lads. What's going on? But actually, I mean, the way it's gone back together is factory. It's amazing.
We will take the car, we'll strip it completely down, we'll get it right down to the body in white.
Yeah.
We'll put a program plan together, we'll trim them, we'll put them back we do all the diagnostics and everything like that to make sure this car is running and there's no problems with it.
Yeah.
Even a few extra surprises for you
I was
along
going to
the
say,
way.
when he says he'll make sure it's all fine, you actually fixed my HVAC.
That's
so
exactly right.
effectively, the aircon unit, when I brought it in, was broken, and we thought it was going to have to go to Porsche and have a sort of factory component swap. Turned up to this, and it was fixed. I don't know how you did that, but it was awesome.
Well, it's one of those.
What is it from a sort of standards or attention to detail point of view that would make it a OEM standard fit rather than someone who's just retrimmed the car?
Well, this is right, because what happens, there are many people that do bespoke cars and one-offs, but when you look at the workmanship and the finish of those parts, the standard is the main thing, and the OEMs set these high standards.
Right.
And once you know what those high standards are, you can actually then try to better those standards of every part within this thing, what stitch line is. When we do the airbags, use the airbag machines because we know health and safety and everything like this about it.
Sure.
And, warranty and.
So when I'm there saying, can we just put a contrast stitch there and kind of have that panel there, your mind's defaulting to, hold on a minute, how is this gonna meet a regulation standard?
Of course, yeah.
That's the boring stuff I don't think about. I just go, hey Mick, can we do that? And he goes, give me a week.
I mean, the other thing as well is, we do have to tweak certain things.
Sure.
You know, and when you sit in there and you look around, you probably think, it's not quite what I wanted, but it's because it has to be that way.
Yes, for sure. Literally from a legal standpoint, right?
Yes,
yeah. So when you're sourcing the materials for this, you just can't put any old thing in, can you? Like even if it's the right color or it looks right, there has to be certain grades.
There's grades, and that's to do with the way it wears.
Okay.
You know, we've got Alcantara in there.
Yeah.
The Alcantara is quite a strong material, but it marks very readily. So we have to be very careful where we put that type of material. We've gone into leather floors. We have to look at the fat. We have to put an over mat in there so we don't slip on the leather.
Right.
But we've just kept the really nice features of the leather floor in there, and
really
it really picks out. I mean, to be honest, when we first saw the renderings, it was very scary.
Yes.
But it looks very, very much milder now.
Well, on the rendering,
vehicle.
it looks like somebody skinned Garfield and then retrimmed him inside this car. But I mean, as soon as you get it inside, underneath the roof, it's sort of dulled those tones down a bit.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not quite as wild as I was first thinking it might be. I know this is an obvious statement. It feels brand new. I mean, I suppose in a way it kind of is.
It's got to be, hasn't it? That's what I expect from a customer. You know, happy with everything you get, and it's got to be brand new.
I didn't realise just how rough my steering wheel was. I mean, you know, I've been driving the car for 4 years. 55,000 miles, and it's basically my daily driver, as impractical as that might seem. But this Alcantara, after that much use, doesn't necessarily look that great.
No,
Holding this now feels like I've just collected a brand new car.
Yes. Yeah.
One of the fabrics we've used is this sort of woven Alcantara, right? What was that like to work with?
It's very difficult to work with the woven leather, because as you see, it's made up. It's just like it's done on a loom. It's just woven strips of material. And what happens is when you turn them around the corner, they start to try and open up in all their in their grains. And when you've got something complex like the door card, it's very difficult to try and keep all that together. So we have to put some false stitching in the back of it to hold it in.
Oh, really? Wow.
The door card was an extremely difficult part because the factory door card is heat staked in from the back.
Okay.
And to get to here and get our gapping and profiling properly, we have to drill off all the heat stakes, and then we have to reinvent them and put screws into the back of them to piece them all together again. So there's 7 pieces in the door.
Is there really?
That we have to break out, break in, put new things in. Look after the airbag, look after the lacquered strip in here, and make sure that we've still got the great bits that go on.
And actually, one of the things which I have been really impressed with is everything that I've shared with these guys as to ideas were things that I've seen online. So I would send you a screen grab of something, and then you went and sourced it. I don't know how you found it, because I was like, I would like something like that. And then I turn up to the next week and you go, how about this? I go, that's exactly it.
This is what we do.
It's very, very cool.
We source everywhere that we can.
Yeah.
And we've got a good supply chain, and it's all good quality leather and Alcantara. And that's what we try to do all the time. If you have a look in the glove compartment, James.
Oh no!
If you bring that one out,
Look at that!
little surprise and delight. And if you open that,
That is wild. Look at that! Oh, it's got the Penso stamp on and everything. All right. No way. Mate, you made this book?
yes,
Wow. Oh, mate, that is amazing.
there's a good page in about 3 or 4 in, which shows
Yeah, let's have a
you
look at it.
the journey, and that one there, it tells you really in numbers
Amazing to see how it started off.
yeah.
So these are all of the stages,
They're the ones.
and these are the
that-
hours.
9 hides that went of leather into it, 14 meters of Alcantara.
Wow.
So it's just a little inventory.
1,087 hours of trim craftsmanship.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Crikey. Mate, this book's amazing.
So that's where it was when you first.
Crikey, it
first
looks really
bought it.
old now. It looks really old.
When you bought
mate,
your
honestly,
car in.
thank you so much for that.
No
I really
problem
appreciate
at all.
that. That is
Thank you.
really, really kind. They were exactly the seats and the process that Cameron was just speaking about. When we came and filmed the update, when it was sort of 3/4 done,
Yes,
I was amazed at the amount of individual pieces that
There
make
is.
up an interior. I mean, hundreds, aren't there?
There's massive, isn't there? Yeah. Just never get the right ones.
Wow, look how clean that is. I've never seen a frunk look so good. I mean, they're normally such boring places, right? So these originally are just like plastic.
A plastic toolkit. So
How did you mold leather so accurately over
we
those?
could. Obviously, they come off like they normally do.
Look at
So
this.
there's your toe eye,
How amazing is that?
and it's just a plastic substrate, and
Right.
we've just trimmed over the top. We've put a nice little piece of beading around there just to make it.
But it's so well formed. You would think it almost fell out of a mold like that.
I know.
It's spot on.
Little wonders that people want in this world, and then this is the triangle.
No way. Oh, I love this. That is gorgeous. Wow. You've thought of everything, eh? Crikey. Huh? Mat. And also, did we have a mat previously, or was it just an empty bottomless pit?
It just about it was on the bottom, but what we decided that obviously a frunk is for
throwing things
boots
into.
and everything else that goes in there, and you don't want to be cleaning leather down all the time,
No.
so it just tidies things up.
I mean, it's brilliant because I do,
Exactly.
as you can tell by the mileage, genuinely use this thing almost every day. So it's going to be awesome, getting into something so bright, because this car puts a smile on your face anyway, but to get into it looking like this, it's just enhanced its sense of occasion tenfold.
Every car is a journey, I see, and that's how we take it in here.
Yeah.
Every trim car is something special, and the customer has got a different perception of what they want.
Yes.
So we want to give them everything they want.
Really special. Thanks so much. It's now the journey to 100,000 miles, so
Great.
let's see what's next. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
Thanks, James.